Harry's Wife, Part 101.33. Pity Play. No Canapés for you. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As a consequence of my attention needing to be elsewhere, I'm catching up a little on some of the events over the last few days, vis-a-vis the funeral of Queen Elizabeth and events leading up to it, and of course enabling you to understand more about Harry's wife's behaviour, because she's really been under the microscope as a consequence of these recent events. Naturally, of course, as you know, her behaviour when it comes to dealing with other people is guided by the prime aims. She has to control, maintain that control, nullify threats to control, draw fuel, and in some instances obtain character traits and residual benefits from other people. On the Sunday, prior to the funeral, we seem to have some kind of hokey-cokey situation involving Harry's wife and Harry, relating to a pre-funeral reception. It kicks off with the pro-Sussex Cosmopolitan with an article by Mahira Bonner telling us this. Prince Harry and Harry's wife were uninvited to a Buckingham Palace reception. While the royal family has seemingly put their dramatic interpersonal dynamics to the side in the wake of the Queen's passing, it looks like Harry's wife and Prince Harry have been uninvited from a reception at Buckingham Palace, leaving sources close to the couple baffled. The Telegraph reports that Harry's wife and Harry appear to have been uninvited to King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla's state reception at Buckingham Palace on Sunday evening, the night before the Queen's funeral, which will be attended by world leaders and royals from other countries. Harry's wife naturally has a sense of entitlement to attend such an event, and, if accurate, the uninviting would cause significant wounding as a failure to be amongst all of these people and be in a prominent position. The article states, while Sussex has received an invitation earlier this week, they were then told the event was for working members of the royal family only. Per the Telegraph, it remains unclear why they had received an invitation for an occasion that royal aides insisted they were not expected to attend. And sources close to Harry and Harry's wife were baffled by the entire mix-up. Meanwhile, palace aides still insist that they were not invited and were not expected to show up. What? Writes the article. Apparently, the reception is expected to be a muted affair, and guests will be asked to wear lounge suits or morning dress as they have drinks and canapés. They'll be greeted by the Prince William and Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, as well as Princess Anne, Prince Edward, and Sophie, Countess of Wessex. It's noteworthy, isn't it, that the Cosmopolitan refers to Prince William, Princess Anne, Prince Edward, and gives Sophie her title, but fails to accord that to Kate Middleton, demonstrating where they, of course, have nailed their colours to the mast. The article continues, as the Telegraph notes there's been some miscommunication in general when it comes to Harry's wife and Harry. Most recently, Harry was reportedly told he couldn't wear his military uniform at the Queen's final vigil. However, King Charles gave his permission for Harry to appear in uniform, along with his brother Prince William, and a source at the palace noted that, at the King's request, they will both be in uniform. Another said common sense has prevailed. It was a ludicrous situation, given the Duke of Sussex has served his country and is a highly respected member of the armed forces, with everything he's done for veterans, such as pissing off to watch the Lion King premiere rather than attending an event for the Royal Marines. It's important that the Queen's grandchildren are all made to feel welcome and comfortable as they grieve their beloved grandmother together, so tells us Cosmopolitan. Yet there is more. AceShowbiz.com, it is a thing, tells us Prince Harry and his wife, Harry's wife, are no longer invited to Queen Elizabeth II's pre-funeral reception at Buckingham Palace. According to a new report, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex initially received an invite to the grand event, which is hosted by King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla, only to get the invite revoked. They've been informed that only working British royals are welcomed at the event, which will also be attended by world leaders and foreign royals. This is one of the last moments for Her Majesty the Queen, as opposed to the first for His Majesty, a spokesperson for King Charles III said, per The Sun. The outlet went on to share that it remained unclear why Harry and Harry's wife were ever invited in the first place, as royal aides insisted they are not expected to attend. Sources told the site that the pair, who share Archie and daughter Lilibet together, appeared to be baffled by the mistake. The couple has yet to comment on the report. The exclusion comes as a surprise, as the family has been putting on a united front, as they are mourning the death of Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September the 8th, at the age of 96. 2 days after the passing, Harry's wife and Harry joined Prince William and Princess Kate Middleton to greet mourners outside Windsor Castle. The Sussexes were spotted waiting in their car on September the 13th as Queen Elizabeth II's coffin made its way to Buckingham Palace in London from the RAF Northolt Air Force Station in Ruislip. Additionally, they were standing behind the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall at the service for the reception of Her Majesty's coffin at Westminster Hall in London on the next day. Harry and Harry's wife, who stepped down from their royal duties and moved to California in 2020, recently were criticised for holding hands at the monarch's procession. While their display of affection was a breach of protocol, it should be noted that the couple is no longer working members of British royal family. Harry and Harry's wife were grieving relatives and were in no obligation to follow royal protocol. Body language expert Inbal Honigman told the British newspaper The Daily Express in defence of the Sussexes. Of course, it stated that the couple has yet to comment on the report. They don't need to. Why? Because their PR machine rolls out this kind of stuff to create a great big pity play. And there's yet more. Page 6, with an article by Evan Reel, states, Prince Harry and Harry's wife appear to have been uninvited from Queen Elizabeth II's pre-funeral reception at Buckingham Palace, according to a new report from the UK's Telegraph. The couple received an invite to the grand event hosted by King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla for world leaders and foreign royals, but they have apparently now been informed that only working British royals are welcome. Per the outlet, it remained unclear why Harry, 38, and Markle, 41, were ever invited, with royal aides insisting they are not expected to attend. Sources told the outlet that the pair appeared baffled by the apparent mix-up. President Joe Biden, he of the sniffing children's hair, and French President Emmanuel Macron are among hundreds of heads of state who will descend upon London before the monarch's state funeral on Monday. Then just repeats matters and makes reference again to the holding of hands, breach of protocol, and then talks about the same body language expert, etc. So what's been going on? Well, it appears that despite the fact that they were not invited in the first place, Harry's wife and Harry have put it about that they were invited, but then weren't. Rather than being able to say NFI, not fucking invited, they've simply found themselves touting around town the suggestion that they were invited, but then it's revoked. Some of this, I understand, appears more to be the behaviour of the lieutenant, the plastic-faced and improbably named Omid Scobie, who had his usual way as the mouthpiece for Harry's wife, had been putting it about that there was an invitation and then it was removed. Let us for the moment assume that that's correct. Again, why do we need to know about this? We don't. But Harry's wife ensures that everybody needs to know because it fits with her narrative of being the victim and, of course, overshadowing events. Lacking any emotional empathy, lacking accountability for her behaviour, operating with a sense of entitlement, having no due regard for the fact that it's the Queen's funeral on the Monday and there is a reception being held the previous evening, that she wants to make a song and dance about the fact that we were invited and then we weren't invited. Shut the fuck up. Of course, she can't. She will not, of course, make an address to the nation by going, hello everybody, it's me, the victim, Duchess, the Duchess of Dollars, the Duchess of Overseas. Do you know what? They invited me and then they didn't invite me. And then perhaps go on to something about saying how her girl crush on Queen Elizabeth was now fading with her usual revision of his history ways. The fact is, she ought to stay silent, whether she was invited in the first place or not, whether there was an invitation and then it was revoked, but she can't. She can't because her narcissism will not allow her to do so. Her narcissism sees this as a threat to control. And, as you'll find out with further information in the next video, so don't go jumping the guns in the comment section just yet, her narcissism has to create the idea that she was invited and then wasn't invited in order to smear King Charles III and the Queen Consort, Camilla, to dole out a pity play to the wider audience of tertiary sources in order for them to say, oh, how awful. You really think that at this time the royal family would be better behaved to poor old Duchess of Sussex, Harry's wife? Imagine inviting her, then not inviting her. Come on. They've messed around with Harry in his military uniform, and now they're doing this to her. What an awful lot of imperial colonialist pig dogs they are. Boo! And therefore, amongst those who are hard of understanding, they would be sympathetic to Harry's wife, affording her the control that she seeks and the management of the facade that her narcissism craves. Anybody else wouldn't find themselves in this situation. Anybody else who would find themselves in this situation wouldn't behave in this way were they not a narcissist. But the suggestion that she wasn't invited in the first place, or was and then has it revoked, whichever it is a threat to control. And this is the response of the narcissism. Ensure that it's leaked to these numerous outlets. The Pro-Sussex Cosmopolitan, the Pro-Sussex Ace Showbiz, whatever it's called, aceshowbiz.com, and Page 6, which is mixed in its reportage. But the point is, it has to be released in order to assert control, similar to the PR puff pieces that are regularly generated. But we're going to find out in the next video what really happened. But this is an example of facade management, pity play, and smearing, commensurate with her status as a narcissist. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.